1, I talked about the game. Norcross wins an absolute thriller at the end. That is my top 10 headline. One of my top 10 headlines going to the weekend. They get their third consecutive win against Newton, their second consecutive win in the playoffs against them. That is, as Craig just asked me on the show, which rivalry is better, Norcross Newton or Grayson versus Newton? I think Norcross Newton, hands down, is one of the best rivalries in the sport right now. Definitely. So, yeah, I got to give them credit. That is my top 10 headline. Norcross wins another one. They are advancing on and try to defend their title. Shout out to them. And then Johnson Savannah, even though they lost in the Elite Eight, Josh Quarterman, I was recognized before their game, 1,000 career points. Shout out to him. That is a phenomenal feat. He's a great player for them. Definitely a great accomplishment and accolade to add to his plate and his name. But, man, number 3, Craig, gosh, I wish I could have revealed this. Like, we got to get to a point, Craig, where if we know news, like, we got to be able to break it. Like that, I just hate having to hold things in. And now it's already official. Me and you knew this, when was the national championship game? In January, right? Yeah, me and you knew this then. I wish we could have revealed that then. But number 3 is Kyle Vaca is a Kel Longhorn. Me and you already knew this. I wish we could have broke the news. That would have been incredible. But think about how electric that offense is about to be. I mean, Peyton Zachary, who just got a Georgia offer, a stud, a great slot receiver. Just get the ball in his hands. Just a playmaker. Just get the ball in his hands. It's over with. And then I analyzed Kyle Vaca's film a few weeks ago. Just great straight line speed, great route running ability, good footwork. You add that into that Peyton Zachary as well, and then Bryce Clavin another year under his belt, and then second year under Bobby May. Man, I mean, that offense is going to be something special. I mean, that is a storyline to watch out for going into the 2023 season. That is going to be a lot of fun to watch. We're also going to have them in our Corky Kell. I believe it is Wednesday. I think they're going to play Johns Creek, Craig. Am I right about that? Yeah, they play Johns Creek. So that'll actually be interesting. Kyle Vaca's going to play his former team, Johns Creek, who he played for years. I just think that is a big headline going into next season. The team that has their mind on title aspirations. And I mean, again, you're obviously going to have Ware County there, right? You're going to have Creekside is probably going to be in the mix, right? You're going to have, I think, Dutchtown. They're going to be in the mix, right? And then Kell. So that's the top 4. Last year, they lost their region. You know, Cambridge, again, they're losing a lot of their team, right? Pleasant Clemens is going to have another year under their helm with Craig Bennett, who's a great coach. They play Parkview? Okay, Kell does. Okay, never mind, guys. That is my mistake. Kell is going to play Parkview. Again, that's still going to be an intriguing matchup because you got Parkview in 7A. They no longer have Coach Eric Godfrey, who's going to be their head coach. I haven't heard any news about who their new head coach is. But, again, a lot of talent. Kyrie Spain picking up offers all offseason long, right? Phenomenal running back. 5th in the state with 2,383 yards, right? They're going to have Mike Matthews, one of the top players in the state, right, at wide receiver position. So who is their quarterback going to be? Colin Holt graduated. He's going to graduate this year, right? And he's going off to play baseball. So who is going to be their quarterback? How is that offense going to look? Then they got a stud that's coming up that we both seen in our Georgia League Classic, Craig. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What is the kid's name? I'm going to have to look it up, but yeah, it's the corner. He's like freaking good. I can't think of his name, but he's going to come up in the works next year. I'm pretty sure he's going to get some kind of playing time. I think he'll be a sophomore, I believe. But then they still have 4-star Jalen Crawford, right? So that's going to be really intriguing matchup in the season opener, I think. But I digress. I just think him going to Kell, and my previous point was about Cambridge, right? So Cambridge has a phenomenal coach in Craig Bennett, right? But they had a great offensive line, a team that begged him to run the football. They had Christian Isabar, a really great running back. He's not going to be there next year. They're going to lose some of their offensive line pieces. Will Taylor's not going to be there next year. They're going to lose some guys. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes up and who's going to be playing those big minutes. And if Cambridge takes a step back next year, that'll be interesting. I think their region's wide open. I can see Kell actually winning that region next year. But we'll see. We'll see. That'll be an interesting storyline. Then number 4 has to be Roswell's tight end, Ethan Barber. He gets a USC offer. The kid's just racking him up. That's a phenomenal offer for him. He is going to be great going into next season for Roswell. Has another year under the helm, but landing a USC offer is very big for him. And then number 5, I don't know if you knew this, Craig, but Milton tight end Ryan Jaya, he's named a 4-star today on Rivals. Um, Man, Milton is making some moves. I don't know if you've seen him, Craig, but they landed Caleb Bell, a very good defensive lineman, and they landed Caleb Ellis from GAC, also another defensive lineman, and then they landed Tristan Payne as transfers. So Milton is really bolstering that defensive line, and I think that's going to be great depth pieces for them. We'll see how that team looks. We'll see Christian Hunter. We've seen him in the Georgia League Classic. He's going to be a freshman upcoming year. Will he get any playing time in varsity, or will he be kind of relegated to freshman in JV? Right? He's an outstanding defensive lineman. So the rich only get richer, as you've been saying for years. Their defensive line is the truth, and they've really bolster that. And even if you say, let's say they don't start, because I don't know what their excuse me, I don't know what their starting lineup's going to be, but they've built their depth, so they're going to have a really good team next year as well. Look out for Milton. And then number 6, back to basketball, Micah Tucker surpassed 1,000 points from Mount Pisgah. He continues to have a phenomenal playoff run. He scored 19 points against Irwin County in their win. That is a player to watch out for against Swainsboro in the Final Four. He's having a phenomenal season. And then me and you talked about it, Craig. Osmar Garcia Arujo, he had 17 points and 10 boards in their win against Grovetown. He continues to come up big. I think in the previous game he had 20-plus points. He's been a key factor for the Lanier run into the Final Four. They beat a really good Grovetown team that has Vashawn Ferguson, who's a phenomenal player. Great run for him. He's been showing that he is a phenomenal player for them. Might not wow you athletically, but, you know, he's a great player. Then, number 8, Brandon Reichsteiner hits the game-winning free throw to send Etowah to the Final Four, scored 21 points. Got to give him some recognition and a shout-out. He had a phenomenal game. He's having a phenomenal year, and in some regard, probably one of the best players in their school history. So he's having a great run in the tournament. And then number 9, Benedictine. Got to shout them out. Their football team had that big goal line stand against Cedartown to win it all. They reached the state semis for the first time in 80 years. Yes, that is not a typo. They've reached the Final Four for the first time in 80 years. Incredible. They get the win against Madison County 58-35. The coach is doing great. Only 3rd year, and he has them in contention for a state title. Number 10, to wrap the show, got to be said, will anybody be able to stop Wheeler from hosting the basketball state title? Craig certainly likes Grayson, not to win it all, but just as a team, it was really mesmerized and kind of really thrown off by kind of what they did to Walton in the Elite Eight. But again, I think it's going to be their defense. Like, if they're going to go and beat Wheeler in the Final Four at Georgia State, they got to bring their defense with them. It's going to be Amir Taylor. It's going to be Chad Moody. You know, can they stop that interior? Can they limit Ayrton Page in any kind of way? Can they frustrate, and I'll use this word again as I used earlier, can they frustrate Wheeler in any kind of way? That's going to be a key factor if they're going to do it. So we'll see. They certainly have the talent. They've certainly been battle tested this year. They certainly played some of the best teams, Columbus and Newton, and some of the best teams in the state. So we'll see if they will be ready to do it.